Why is Elon Musk not happy with the current budget plan? Jamie Dimon, he's back in the headlines again. What's he talking about? And then also, what are the greatest financial powers of the world doing to the gold price? I'm Eric Sapanic. This is John Caro, and this is the Gold Spot. Well, actually, our video producer sent me a really interesting little article from the Babylon Bee. For those of you that don't know, the Babylon Bee is just a satire news reel that throws some funny ones out there. But we thought we'd share this one with you because we just thought it was just too much fun not to share. And it said this: Elon Musk leaves job of making government more efficient for much easier job of sending humans to Mars. So I don't know, John, what do you think? Easier to do the efficiency of the government or sending people to Mars? What job would you want?
Mars is a much simpler task.
I agree.
Elon stated his unhappiness in a very good way the other day on X. Quote, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." End quote. This is Elon boiling down the old story of the emperor's new clothes into a few short lines. This is business as usual. They're talking about not spending, and all they're doing is spending. He's very frustrated, and I don't blame him.
Well, especially after all the work that he did with DOGE. I mean, we know without a doubt that the true way to get into one of these bills and cut pork is a task that nobody's willing to do. That is go line by line by line, like a forensic audit of a company. And at this point in time, we have got absolutely no indications that this government, this presidency is willing to do that. Now we are looking to raise the debt ceiling, the highest level we have ever raised it in the history of this country, and it's under the Republicans, which never raised the debt ceiling. So I don't know. What's your take on this?
This is the entrenched bureaucracy, the entrenched politicians doing what they always do. It's like punching a sponge. They keep coming back and they're buying votes, they're buying popularity, and all the president can do at this point really is shut down the government, and it's hard to believe he'll do that.
And John, he's not alone. CEO of JPMorgan Chase, Jamie Dimon, he's back in the headlines again. And he had something interesting to say as well. Maybe you could go ahead and quote him on his concerns at this point in time, John.
He's very worried about the rising debt bill and the debt load. And he was speaking at the Reagan National Economic Forum recently. And he's concerned that the debt is becoming such a problem, so huge, it's going to affect the bond market. In fact, he said a crack is going to happen. What does that mean? He thinks we're going to have trouble selling our government bonds and raising money to spend on things we shouldn't be spending on, and it's going to affect the whole economic structure in our country and then in the world. There'll be ripple effects. And his critics have said he says this all the time, and he backs off. But you look at the numbers, and we keep spending money we don't have. And at some point, our creditors are going to pull the plug.
John, you make a good point. But, you know, when it comes to the critics of Jamie Dimon right now, it's coming from within the administration. It's, you know, the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. He is one of those saying, hey, listen, this bill ultimately will create a savings of trillions of dollars down the road. But I'm sorry, you're not going to ever be able to convince me that you need to spend more to save more. It's just an argument that has no legs.
It's like a gerbil on a wheel. They just keep doing the same thing over and over and hoping for a different result. And, you know, that's the definition of insanity.
We can't even at this point in time get to the point where we can say, hey, we're just going to get back to our budget from before we shut down an entire country and gave everyone free money to make sure that the country didn't implode upon the most insane shutdown in history. Now, here we are, and gold prices are they're going back and forth between $3,500 to $3,350 3,200, then back up to 3,400. Most people would expect, especially with all the central bank buying and everything that's going on, that gold prices would be really like soaring right now. What's going on, John, with gold?
What's going on is that the central banks, the sovereign wealth funds, and the megabanks are still buying gold. And because they buy gold in tonnage, not ounces, they control the market. The reason we see this is they're trying to keep the prices down so they can keep acquiring gold, because their long-term plan is to capture as much hard metal as they can. And so the price floats a bit. Frankly, at some point, I think the free market is going to regain control of the marketplace and we'll see the prices go up. The real issue is that these three entities, the central banks, the sovereign wealth funds, and the megabanks, they make money on the transactions, so they're going to keep buying, they're going to keep pushing and shoving in the price market. And at some point, even if we go past 3,500, you'll see the same pattern, just the numbers will be different.
I believe everything that John just said is spot on correct, with the addition that the public is not one of the driving factors right now. You and me and everybody else right now, we are not the driving force of the gold market. It is the larger powers that be. And once the public finally figures it out, it might be too late.
Right. If you're late to the party, you're going to either pay more or you're not going to be able to get what you want.
You just won't have a seat.
Right.
Well, I think that just about wraps it up for us. Have a fantastic weekend. We appreciate you joining us. And please go ahead and visit us once again next week here on The Gold Spot.
If you enjoyed today's Gold Spot, like or subscribe to both our YouTube and Rumble channels. Also, comment below if you have any questions or if you'd like to hear us talk about a specific topic in a future video.